Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about Bitcoin, and specifically we're going to be talking about the time you've done some research, you discovered Bitcoin, you looked into it and you realized this is probably going to be a good investment for the long run. I'm going to probably do well for myself if I put some of my savings into it down the line, 5 years, 10 years, for your retirement and so on. And you've discovered that and you started investing and you started buying, and then the next step would be, well, did you tell anyone? So that will be the point of this video. You discovered Bitcoin, you realize the huge potential, and you say, you know what, I should probably tell other people as well, because this is a good opportunity. And how other people reacted when you told them so. So let's get into it. Just to be clear, I told quite a few people about it, but out of all the people that I told about Bitcoin, there was only one person that actually paid attention and did something about it. And that person is sitting on quite a nice portfolio, by the way, right now. All the other ones chose not to. So I'm not going to focus on the one that did something about it. That's obvious, it worked well for them for the last couple of years. I'm going to focus on the people that didn't do anything about it, or they thought you're crazy, or they thought you're going to lose your money, or all of the things I mentioned. So when I used to live in Yorkshire, I had two flatmates, and I told them we're going back to quite a few years now, 2014 I believe. So we talked about it. I told them this is something that could be interesting, they should probably look into it, do some research, because I think this has the potential to be huge in the future. Now, to be fair, this is the moment when I bought some and then I forgot about it for a couple of years. And you know, the guys that I was sharing the flat with back then, they didn't do anything about it. They never asked a question. They didn't seem interested. They said they don't know anything about investing, and that was that. We lost touch, to be honest. I haven't seen them in a while, but I'm pretty sure they haven't bought any Bitcoin. Now, I had another flatmate after that. Now, I lived with this guy for quite a few years. This is when I got into it seriously, let's say 2017-ish, late 2017, the end of that cycle. And I talked to him about it, and I said, listen, this is probably going to be a good investment. Not only that, but this guy, he was also, I can't remember if he was playing a game or if he was just playing poker. I can't exactly remember, but my point is, he was getting rewarded in some Bitcoin, not too much, but you know, a couple of satoshis. And I told him, okay, just pay attention how the price will increase of the, you know, Bitcoin you have, especially in 2018 when we were in the bear market. I said, if you have any cash, obviously not financial advice, do your own research and so on, you should probably look into buying some, because you'll probably do very well. Again, he didn't do anything. However, because I kept in touch with him for quite a few years, a few years later, I think it was like 2021, yes, 2021, it was like, man, remember that small stack of satoshis I had? It's now like 10 times the value. And I said, listen, I told you so. I told you this was gonna happen. I told you it's gonna go up in value. And he said he didn't remember the conversation, which was okay, fair enough. By the way, this is gonna be a common occurrence with people who I had this conversation over the years. So I'm gonna move now to another friend. This is someone who I was close friends with for, you know, years. And the year is also 2018. And living in Yorkshire, and we met, I believe, in Leeds. This was just either it was before Bitcoin went to the bottom of the bear market in 2018, or just slightly afterwards. If I remember correctly, it was just slightly before. So the price was like maybe $4,000. And I remember we were walking, I believe it was Kirkstall Abbey. Is that nice park there with the Abbey. And I told him, listen, if you have any spare cash that you're not going to need for the next 1 or 2 years, you should probably have a look at this, because I think it has huge potential to go to the upside. And I even remember showing him the graph on my phone. I said, this is where the top was in 2017, which was about almost 20k, 19 and change. And I told him it has huge upside potential. And I remember he told me, I don't think so. I think that was the major bubble and it's not going to go up ever again. I remember him telling me that specifically. Now fast forward a couple of years, because I had that same conversation with this guy, what, 2024, and I told him, do you remember that conversation we had 6 years ago, when you said that the bubble popped and it's over? And he said he doesn't remember. Okay, fair enough. There's a saying in English, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's how I felt at the time. It was a bit frustrating, to be honest. So yeah, that was another example where I told someone, they just, you know, didn't do anything about it, and that was that. Not only that, but they also didn't remember that we had the conversation to begin with. So fast forward to someone who I worked with. Now there was this guy, and the year is also 2018, and he bought 4 bitcoins with 10,000 pounds, 10,000 British pounds. Yeah, this was also in the UK, in England. He asked me about it because I remember we talked about what do you think Bitcoin is going to go? What do you think Bitcoin is going to do? He was interested in that subject as well. And I told him, listen, I think you did a very good investment. The fact that you bought 4 bitcoins with 10,000 pounds, I mean, it's incredible. Now it's easy to see, right? Because now it's, you know, a few years in the future, it's easy to say, yeah, it was definitely a good decision. But back then, it wasn't that, let's say, easy to predict. And he had doubts. He bought the 4 bitcoins, and I remember this was a very choppy market. He was very close to the bottom low. He didn't buy exactly the low, but very close to it. And I remember there was some volatility that followed afterwards, and the guy got freaked out. And I remember he came and he asked me one day, listen, I'm thinking of selling Bitcoin because I'm thinking it may go to zero and I'm gonna lose all my money. I told him, listen, I'm not a financial advisor. It's your money. You do what you want to do. But I remember asking him, do you need his money for the next, 1 or 2 years? And he said, no, he doesn't. I told him, if you can, just wait 1 year. 1 year before making that decision. Because it's going to be a lot clearer if you're right or if you're wrong. And the guy said, I'll think about it. What ended up happening is, yeah, he sold. So a couple of days later, during some narrative, some volatility, whatever, he sold, and he actually sold at a loss. He lost so he bought 4 bitcoins with 10,000 pounds, and he sold and he lost 300 pounds or something. I don't remember. Not much in the grand scheme of things, but imagine having now 4 bitcoins. So yeah, he sold, and again, it was not the best decision if you think about it. That guy would have been very well financially situated right now. Unfortunately, he bought too much. He couldn't handle the volatility, the psychological yo-yo, I guess, up and down, up and down. As you know, if you have checked the markets and if you have been into Bitcoin for a couple of years or in crypto, there is insane amount of volatility. And one more example that I have from my previous job, I had conversations with about, I would say, 2 people that were interested in investing and crypto, some trading as well. And I remember talking to them. This was fairly recent. This was when Bitcoin was around $30,000. And I told them, you know, it's gonna go way higher than that. It's gonna go way higher than that. You should probably look into it. And if you have any spare cash that you want to invest for the long term, it will probably be a pretty good buy. Even though by that time we were already off the bottom. I think the bottom was around $50,000. It didn't matter. We were already double that, but it didn't matter because I knew Bitcoin will be where we are right now, 6 figures. I didn't know. I thought it was highly probable. Let me correct myself. Highly probable that we're gonna be at a 6 figure. Again, just people, for some reason, they look at you, they seem to take it in, and then do nothing, which in a way is frustrating, because hey, here I am, I'm trying to help you, or I'm thinking I have the best intentions to try to tell you about something that will go up, something that it will improve your net worth, everything. But for some reason, people just seem to not care. I had some people who not only said they're not gonna do it, they told me, listen, this is a scam. This is a Ponzi scheme. You're gonna end up losing all your money. And I heard that over and over again. But you know, I didn't pay any attention to it. I just made up my mind, and I'm going to keep doing it. I thought it was a pretty interesting subject to make a video on. And I'm curious if any of you people who have, you know, bought Bitcoin for some time and, you know, have faith in it that it's going to be a very good asset for the long term. Did you tell anyone? Did you tell family and friends? How did they react? What did I tell you? Did anyone actually pay attention to what you said and bought some Bitcoin? Or is your experience just like mine? Mostly everyone ignoring you. Let me know down below of your experience of getting into Bitcoin and trying to tell other people about it. And how did they react? And did anyone follow your advice or not? Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.